Challenges in Transition. June 17, 2015. Although there's been some private readings lately, it's been a while since I've come to you for information to share more publicly. Can we talk about the challenges in the current transitions? Life has been presenting to me as very challenging. There are changes which are highly physical with many detoxing symptoms, along with lots of body aches too. I'm drained and scrambling to increase self-care, but it's disconcerting nonetheless. Also, there has been the most frustrating disorientation on how to proceed with tasks. The old ways of trying to push forward seem not to work anymore. Can you speak to these experiences and give some insight? Aster. We are here to share our perspective on this with you. As you would say, the squeeze is on. This sensation of squeezing out the old paradigm perceptions is disorientating most of you, and we watch carefully to see how this challenge will be handled. The ways of doing and also of being are changing now, as the energies will no longer support such a contracted and limited way of being you've come to know. Nor will they support the ways of proceeding to doing and tasks in the ways you know either. We would suggest the releasing of habitual thoughts, feelings, and ways that used to be used will reduce the stress of this transition. The new paradigms ask that there be much more fluidity and also much more trust in the natural unfoldment in each moment. Allow us to ask you this: if one is truly intent on creating in the new energies that which will be of the greatest benefit to all beings, has there been the ability to micromanage this in terms of planning and doing? Has any among you managed this in this way? We would suggest you have not, and we would further suggest that this isn't possible. From our perspective, this isn't how creation in alignment with Divine Source works. The way it works is to intend and to move with intent, but the actual plan unfolds in ways which are the greatest mystery. Allowing for this mystery to unfold without getting in the way of it is a great challenge for those in form at this time. This is what we observe from our more expanded view. All that is created in conjunction with the Source, with what you would call heavenly and divine assistance, is done in perfect timing and in perfectly orchestrated complexity that defies all comprehension. To attempt to control or manage all this to the greatest good of all is beyond what any one being can imagine, much less do. Although this is so, it's of the greatest benefit to acknowledge and align the intent of personal creation energy with the greater good for all beings. There's not a need for one to understand what this greater good is in all its details, nor is it possible. There's only the need to take ownership of this intent and to allow the magic of it to unfold. Staying open to perceive this unfoldment will highly enhance the being aligning with this holy venture in conscious co-creation. How else to be the conduit of such a movement from the divine heart of the One? Staying open to the nudges and the hints that come up along the trail will assist the pilgrim to navigate the pathway to finding the ways which will present themselves. Stressing over the timing is also not so productive. Instead, it will produce barriers and reinforce bad habits that have been programmed into most of the Gaian human population, in order to artificially separate them from their own access to creation powers. All these powers of creation come directly from Source, and are granted to those who will be willing to serve as a conduit for them. Instead of directing them, these forces are inherently containing the intelligence of Source and will direct the being to the path that most closely aligns with the greater good. The intention to align with the greater good of all and to the will of Source must be present, however. This makes perfect sense, and I can see where the frustration has been about trying to proceed in ways that assume I will have to figure out the ways instead of allowing the ways to appear in perfect timing. This most definitely is attached to bad habits on my part and a lack of trust in the natural unfoldment process you speak of. Aster. And yet, if you will allow your frustration to subside and relax the contraction energy it generates, this will be highly beneficial to the speed of the unfoldment of that which you bring into motion with your primary intent. Can you see how you confuse the intent when you hold these old habits to be needful? These habits are a direct reflection of distrust in the process. Yes, this does make perfect sense to me. I'll take the time to stop and appreciate what's said here and allow for the unfoldment to come as it always does. My will for the greater good aligned with the will of Source. I understand what you're saying. I can see how I generate conflicting energy to my intent to align with Source when I fail to bring my resistance to the allowing for natural unfoldment to my consciousness and allow it to flow out of me like this, in frustration. Aster. We assist you in this transition when you ask. In this moment, we sing for you the energies you require to support this transition and shift in perception you're making. Let us speak now of the physical challenges you asked about. At this time, the body you inhabit, which is the body of Gaia in diversity, is transitioning faster than you are. She will lead you into a far greater measure of expansion, but she needs you to support her in this. She's come so far with you and has been your greatest and most loyal ally. There is no other above or below that is more devoted to you or a more crucial ally to your mission than she is. Therefore, we would say outright that you will need to upgrade even further your attention, your care of, and your attitudes concerning your body. You may choose to do this or not, but the cost of ignoring or disregarding this at this time will be considerable. We're not suggesting anything specific other than to honor her and listen to her wisdom. She is wiser than whatever supposed wisdoms or information has been collected and or catalogued among you about how to care for her. She knows the ways to assist her, but you will have to listen. Mostly, she needs and desires your love for her. The time that this sacred foundation to relations between the self and the body could be ignored or disrespected, and that any could expect the body to continue to support the being in ways that are in alignment with the intent for the greatest good are over. Can you feel this inconsistency? I can. Now that you point this out, I can see how this is how I am not honoring the foundational principles I wish to bring forth in creation in this moment by disregarding the sacred relations between me and my body. No wonder the discomfort is so great lately. Aster. Hold the intent for the greater good to unfold and it will. This includes all you're dealing with. The mental, emotional, and the physical will fall into place if you will attend to them all with the honoring of the sacred nature of these relations to self and others. Understand the nature of these current energies will support you if you will simply pay attention to the intent that you bring to each moment. Consistency is required, as the creational nature of these energies is far quicker and more agile than you've become accustomed to. Breaking all records of speed and of sheer power, these energies are swift and mighty. Understand that although this is so, if the intent is aligned with the greater good of all, then the time involved in the transition and transmutation that allows for the unfoldment to occur, may seem like a pause. In this pause, is the movement of the incomprehensible source. Honor this is so, and go forward with confidence and ease. We attend you with the most devoted attention, dear sister. For now, we bid you farewell, and ask that you care for self with the most tender compassion at this time. I will. Thank you and farewell. Channeled by Andrea Scully. AndreaStarOO.com